The government of Trinidad and Tobago can't find money to pay public servants. And in sport, Trinbago Knight Riders upset the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots in the Caribbean Premier League. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Thursday, August 24. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Excuse me, I hear something about that comedy show. What really is? What is?
It's all about Carrie Festa 2017!
Peoples, it's the Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th at the Sir Garfield Sober Gymnasium.
Andrew, what is that in your bag? A cat. A what? A cat. You bring a cat in my house?
Well, Daddy,
Take it back to your mother, please.
No, Daddy, I can't do that. Don't make me do that, please, Daddy.
Why?
I hear Uncle Ralph tell Mommy go eat it when he come back. The Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th, the Garfield Stobers Gymnasium. People, get your tickets from official box offices only.
How do you see this going forward?
In so many things, and the diaspora is no exception. We do suffer somewhat from an implementation deficit. And I think there is now a full-fledged department dealing with that.
Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says government is having a hard time finding money to pay public servants. In fact, he says it's his administration's hardest task at the moment. He made that admission yesterday following a 3-hour meeting with the Joint Trade Union Movement. Prime Minister Rowley stated in a release that the government is borrowing to pay salaries and it is difficult to talk about increases now. His statement followed Joint Trade Union Movement leader Ansel Roger's remarks that trade unions were disappointed and dissatisfied with the meeting and its outcome. The meeting came off after weeks of the unions clamoring for a meeting with the Prime Minister and last week issuing an ultimatum to the government to set a date for this week. Speaking outside the office of the Prime Minister in St. Clair after the meeting, Roger said the discussions fell short of any sort of agreement. After 5 years of being listed by United States authorities as a drug kingpin, Belize businessman John Zanabe, or that's Zabane, has officially had that label removed. His agro-enterprise ventures, all flagged by the U.S. Treasury back in 2012, were sanctioned based on U.S. foreign policy and national security objectives against individuals believed to be engaged in a range of criminal activities, including transnational organized crime. The designation had served a death blow to his Mayan King enterprise, which at the time was the biggest banana producer in Belize. But the U.S. Treasury Department has informed Zanabe, or that's Zabane, via letter that he and his companies are no longer designated as specially designated narcotics traffickers. It said that as a result, all properties and interests in property which had been blocked solely due to that designation are unblocked, and he and his companies are permitted to engage in any lawful transactions involving U.S. citizens. The Jamaica-based Caribbean Broilers Group says it is investing $120 million in a series of agricultural projects it hopes will bolster food security within the region. The group, which operates 3 separate divisions, including a vertically integrated farming, processing and distribution business that focuses on locally produced meats, says the investment will increase its capacity by over 25% and will allow it to double production to meet the regional export market. It is hoped the 7-year project, called The Nest, will through innovation and technique, helped to significantly reduce imports of poultry products to the region from North and South America, the United Kingdom and Europe. Chief Operating Officer Matthew Lynn says it will be the first hybrid growth center in Jamaica and will function as an ecosystem.
New concept for us. It's a different way of thinking. Looking in depth at the relationship between people, business, and our environment. We call it hybrid because it will be the home to multiple CB operations. They're completely independent from each other from a business point of view, independently managed, independently run, individual P&Ls, but that will be completely codependent on each other from an environmental perspective. Using the best-in-class technology and the best-in-class practices, we will look at reducing our footprint for our farming and our processing operations. And we'll pay close attention to energy, water, and waste.
An earthquake with a magnitude of 4.5 was recorded to the east of Tobago on Wednesday. Preliminary reports from the Seismic Research Center at the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus say the quake occurred at around 3:56 p.m. local time. The tremor was located at latitude 11.27 degrees north and longitude 58.83 degrees west with a depth of 10 kilometers. This latest event follows a 4.1 earthquake recorded 120 kilometers northwest of Port of Spain early Tuesday. Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next.
Excuse me there. Listen, I hear something about that comedy show. What really is? What is?
It's all about Carrie Festa 2017!
Peoples, it's the Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th at the Cigar Feed Sober Gymnasium. ITM Fancy Cat from Jamaica, the legendary Larry Joseph from Trinidad and Tobago, and he's bringing along the new funny man, Kenneth Chinese Super Sad, with Dolores Alexander, the Drunken Saint, and Daryl Mendoza, and the daddy of all comedy daddies, Errol Fabian. And Guyana got to be there, people. They're bringing Jumbi and Odessa Primus. That's right. And bringing it home is Trevor Dynamite, Ismail Lafitar, Romanco, Queen Archibald Cox, and special guest Stiffy. General admission $65, and the IMF will be there. IMF Fingal is your MC. MC is mad and crazy. The Caribbean Comedy Explosion, Saturday, August 26th, Cigar Feed Stolber's Gymnasium. People, get your tickets from official box offices only.
Rapid fire, unbeaten knocks from Brendan McCullum and Darren Bravo upstaged an explosive 93 from Chris Gale to lead Trinbago Knight Riders to an 8-wicket victory over St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots under the Duckworth-Lewis Stain method in the Caribbean Premier League on Wednesday. Now, Gale had set the tone for the day with a 5 fours and 8 sixes from 47 balls in a typically fiery knock that drove the Patriots to 162 for 3 from the rain-reduced 13 overs. In an explosive conclusion, McCullum and Bravo smashed 1, 4 and 8 sixes, sharing an unbroken 54 of 13 balls for the third wicket to catapult the TKR over the finish line with 4 balls remaining. Bravo concluded the showpiece with successive sixes of the first 2 deliveries of the final over, bowled by Jonathan Carter, to finish the match in grand style and hand the visitors their 7th victory of the competition. Now, the result meant the Trinbago Knight Riders remained riveted at the top of the standings on 14 points, 3 more than the Patriots, with both having 2 matches left. That's Caribbean in 10. Good afternoon.